A new season of IndyCar is upon us. 2024 is set to kick off here from Road Atlanta with practice about to get underway.
An exciting season ahead, Lee. We've got new rookies on the grid and the story of Paolo trying to win 3 titles in a row.
And let's not forget Scott Dixon looking to get back on top after last season.
All right, bud, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
This is a big learning weekend for you. We don't expect much. Get some laps in and gain experience is all we want to start the season.
And with that, IndyCar Career Mode is back. It's all new. It's here for the 2024 season where we kick off our IndyCar career fresh off of success in Indy Lights here with the Meyer Shank Racing team going up in a rookie class against Linus Lundqvist, Christian Rasmussen, as well as Kiffin Simpson. I don't know if I said his first name right, but it is back, and this series is going to follow the real-life schedule throughout the whole season, so you'll expect an episode every IndyCar weekend IRL, basically, is how that is going to work. This will allow me to really commit to a series and not feel like I have to have it out every other day, and it will allow me to create a proper series, which I felt like we couldn't do last time. So I hope you guys are excited for it here now in my first weekend. This was an unexpected deal. I was supposed to be in Indy Lights for a second season. However, Tom Blomqvist, who was supposed to be in this car, a deal fell through late with Meyer Shank, and instead we get the call up. And now here we are, suddenly propelled into the top level of open-wheel American racing. We are the only full-time Canadian on the grid this season, and immediately getting the elbows out in practice, just trying to find some pace and get some comfort here as we're going up against Pietro Fittipaldi there. But very excited for this season ahead here. As you well notice, obviously, we're not at St. Pete, which is where IndyCar is IRL, where this season starts. That is not in iRacing, and not with AI, obviously. So those tracks will be substituted. You see the calendar as well on your screen. On the right side, we have the vast majority of tracks here, but a couple of substitutes, including this episode there. As well in practice, you got the defending IndyCar champion, back-to-back champ, Alex Palou, looking for 3 in a row. Brand new colors on his car there, looking absolutely fantastic. And of course, the driver that was trying to chase him for the championship late last season, Scott Dixon, looking to get back on top here in 2024. Now, I know IndyCar only has 17 rounds, so basically, 17 weeks of racing. That's not even half a year. So there is a chance that there will actually be 2 seasons of this IndyCar career mode this year, just because of the lack of racing actually IRL. So you might be able to still expect an episode every week, but no more than that 1 per week basis. So stay tuned on that here now, as there's a lot of exciting things to look forward to in our opening weekend here in IndyCar. Now, it is going to be qualifying time here, and once again, I mean, the goal is just get some experience under our belt here and try to get familiar with the car that we're driving, and it's really not all about pace in this opening weekend. So that's kind of what I was focused on, get this car around the track and see what we can do. The practice times didn't look great. I was towards the bottom, but we rolled through here into qualifying now. And Road Atlanta is an intimidating circuit. You come up this hill right here, and you have a very blind corner. Where is it? There it is right there. You want to clip that curb a little bit there, and then just hook it up through this now downhill elevation S's section. And then this is going to lead to another sketchy part of the circuit. Right here, you're braking, you catch a curb, you shoot left, and then you can go up over this curb. You're not going to get penalized for track limits there. Then you have a double right-hander here, a heavy braking zone into this, basically second to last right-hander on the circuit, going down a long straightaway where we can very much utilize the push to pass, go through a chicane here, and then of course have the final sweeping right-hander to come back to the start-finish. Grosjean currently on pole position with his brand new team to the line, and it's for us going to be on this opening lap, P8. However, we have 2 laps of qualifying. It's not like IRL IndyCar qualifying, a single car, 2 laps. And unfortunately, I went slower and we would drop to P18 by the end of it. So not exactly what I was hoping for, but it is what it is. And you're going to see Joseph Newgarden would end up on pole over his teammate there at Penske Racing of Scott McLaughlin. As you can see, the rest of the qualifying order. P18 for us. We're driving number 66, not 51. I will have that fixed hopefully in the next episode. Kiffin Simpson at the bottom of the grid there, the rookie now. But it's time to go racing for the season opener, our first IndyCar race of our career here in Road Atlanta.
We're ready to roll for round 1 on the season. It's a Penske front row shared by Joseph Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin.
It'll be interesting to see how these two race each other into turn one here. It will be tough to pass, so they both want the lead early.
You're with myself, Lee Diffie, and James Hinchcliffe all year long as 2024 is set to kick off here in dramatic fashion.
Joseph Newgarden leads the way in towards turn number 135. Laps of racing here from Road Atlanta, side by side in the background there, as we got our teammate trying to move through as well. Fuel window and whatnot, pit stops. Basically, we're looking at a two-stop race. We can go about 13 laps on fuel, so looking to pit around lap 13, about lap 25, 26, and then go another 10, 11 laps at the maximum on the final set of, or tank of fuel, basically. So it is a two-stop race, and starting on the compound of tire that we of course qualified on, which is the primaries. We want to do primaries here, primaries after our first stop, and then for the final stop switch over to the alternate tire here. As well, you can see some side by side in front of us. I was pretty cautious on this opening lap, so I stayed put where I was and actually lost a little bit of ground nearly into the back of Jack Harvey right there on this opening lap. In a battle for the lead already, Scott McLaughlin taking the heat to his Penske teammate there, side by side down towards the chicane with Joseph Newgarden. But I think Newgarden's going to be okay because he's going to have the preferred lane around the outside. Yes, he stays ahead, and here comes our Meyer Shank teammate. That's Felix Rosenqvist there going for second. Is he going to get the job done? It's going to be close here. Side by side, wheel to wheel down this front straightaway through turn one. They continue wheel to wheel. Great racing between these two, both on the alternate red stripe tires, and Rosenqvist goes through in the second place while his rookie teammates down here in 19th place on lap 2. Now, there is one thing with the iRacing AI that I need to mention right away. At some tracks, the racing can get pretty strung out and boring. In those moments, there will be a caution thrown, not always, but sometimes, to just spice it up a little bit and basically liven up the race. I just want you guys to be fully aware of that going into this series here. Now, as we continue to close in on the back of Jack Harvey here for that 18th spot, down towards the very heavy braking zone right-hander now and into the back, actually, of Harvey, and immediately some damage to the front wing.
I got damage. I don't know if it's going to affect the handling or not.
And you saw Harvey just did not go on the exit of the corner. I wasn't ready. I tried to get on the brake pedal, but it didn't matter. We ran into the back of him. We'll lose 2 positions. Colin Braun going around the outside of us now as we continue wheel to wheel with Canapino here on the right side of us now as we're going to come through the sweeping right-hander. Still not sure if it's affecting the handling or not. No room given by Canapino. He runs us into the grass. We keep it going in the right direction, wheel to wheel as well with Rasmussen. As we go down into turn 1, though, immediately I could feel it. There's definitely damage on the car.
I need to pit immediately.
Bring it to us this lap. Just hang on here. We'll fix the wing.
You hear our crew chief there just telling us to bring it to him. We'll hold off fellow rookie of Simpson there, and then we would just hang on for the rest of the lap. But this is really going to hurt our race because we're going to get to the pit lane, no issues at the end of this lap, and a really awkward pit lane entry here at Road Atlanta. Really sketchy. I've seen many people in iRacing actually crash here. But we are still going to have to pit 2 more times because we cannot make it on one stop from where we are now. So really awkward, unfortunate scenario. We're going to stick on the primaries here, about a 5-second repair on the front wing, and then we'll be ready to go back racing here. So we get the fuel in the car as well, new set of tires, and we're back rolling here. So we've got about 13 laps of fuel to work with until, of course, our next pit stop. So we get back going, and immediately you see in the top of the screen, Joseph Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin, his teammate, are both coming into the pits here at this lap. First and third place. I'm not sure exactly what this is about. Penske trying some weird strategy, but that's a 3-stop strategy that they're trying, and here comes Newgarden and his teammate McLaughlin. I don't understand this one bit here. Now, they are going to commit to a 3-stop, while it appears everybody else is going to go for the 2-stop here. A very baffling call. Maybe they're thinking, 3 stops, they can go really hard. So we're basically now on the same strategy as the 2 front runners are, but I don't think that's the strategy that's going to work here today. So I'm a little bit baffled by what Penske's trying to accomplish here on this one, to say the very least. But we'll continue moving forward now and just try to set a pace. And at the end of the next lap, actually, Rena's VK now as well coming into the pit. So that's a 3rd car trying a 3-stop strategy. Unfortunately, everybody that's pitting comes out in front of me here. VK is out in front of me, McLaughlin, Newgarden as well, and we know they're going to be faster than us. But the question is, what's going to happen eventually when we know they're faster than a lot of cars? So they're going to get caught up in traffic. So we still have a chance to maybe even go after them if this race plays out the way we think it's going to play out. So my teammate of Rosenqvist is leading, but not for long, because here comes Roman Grosjean, brand new team this season for him after his failures at Andretti, still seeking his first win in the IndyCar Series. Can he do it today in the season opener? Now, is there wheel-to-wheel down this long bank straightaway? Maybe using the push-to-pass. Now, push-to-pass works completely different here in IndyCar and iRacing than you see in real life. Instead of an amount of seconds, you have just an amount, a number amount, basically. You can use it a certain amount of times. You can use push-to-pass 10 times, basically, throughout a race. Scott Dixon, Will Power going at it wheel-to-wheel early on here from Road Atlanta. In the background is Palou, the defending champ, versus, of course, a rising superstar of Colton Herta. Dixon around the outside there, and he's going to get the job done on Power. Of course, no love lost between the two after their practice crash last year. And the same lap again, a battle for the lead, and Rosenqvist will go back to the lead, making Meyer Shank very happy here now as he's up leading the race, which also builds my confidence as an IndyCar rookie, seeing the team I'm on has the capabilities of leading. Same lap now into the pits. That's Pato O'Ward. So that's a fourth driver coming in just lap 8. So anybody that's pit so far cannot make it on the 2-stop strategy. They are committing to 3 pit stops. They can go harder, and I think that's what they're trying to do, is excuse themselves to go quicker on the racetrack. But I just don't think it's going to work, because traffic, it's going to get difficult to pass no matter how much of an advantage you have. So right now, O'Ward's just exiting the pits, and he would only come out a few seconds ahead of me, actually. He's about 1 second ahead, and the AI really struggled to get tire temperature in their cars on the opening lap of after a pit stop, which really, allows the player, myself, to have a nice advantage here, because my tires get up to temperature really no problem as we continue to see more battles up front here. Now, that's Kyle Kirkwood now alongside Grosjean, who, of course, got passed by Rosenqvist. And here we go down that bank straightaway again. This is where all the passing's happening so far, feels like, aside from turn 1, 2 as well. And look at this, Kirkwood is going to go from third to around the outside of Rosenqvist as well for the lead of this race. Now, Kyle Kirkwood out in front in that number 27. Dixon there in the background, and Marcus Ericsson right there as well. The pair of Ganassi machines, 4th and 5th. Power, Palou, 6th and 7th, just behind as I set my fastest lap of the session so far. Feeling very confident, actually, in the abilities of this race car, since we've gotten, of course, a new wing on it.
Okay, the pace is great. Keep it up here.
A few words of encouragement there from our crew chief now as we continue on, trying to focus in on that car in front of Palou in the McLaren machine now, as he has a lot more experience under his belt here in IndyCar, of course, than I do, as we got more battles for the lead. Again, Rosenqvist this time, but I believe pit stops are about to kick off for everybody. Let's take a look here now as they come through the final couple of corners. We're about to see, yes, everybody is going to pit together. Really interesting to see this, but I believe 2 cars are going to stay out. You're going to see them sweep past here in just a few moments' time. One of them being the McLaren, actually, that is, and I believe Canapino. So Canapino as well as Alex Rossi are going to remain on the racetrack. They're going to pit 1 lap later. So you see on the track map, everybody in the pit lane here as we're sweeping around through turn 1. We're going to gain a bunch of track position. So Newgarden, McLaughlin, VK, O'Ward, myself, we're all going to cycle through here into the top 5. But we're on that 3-stop strategy, so we're going to pit again in just a few laps, and we'll be in the back, and they'll be trying to run down the cars in front, who will then eventually pit again one more time. We'll pit again. It's going to be all over the place. It's really interesting right now, to say the least here. But you see Newgarden take the lead. His teammate McLaughlin a little bit behind. Rena's VK putting together a solid race so far, but I don't think anybody that's in the top 5 right now is even going to finish in the top 10 outside of maybe Newgarden, who might have the car capable of driving through traffic later in this race. The 3-stop just doesn't seem like a viable option, but they're trying it. Obviously, we were forced into it. We didn't want to be in it, but we are continuing to close in here, lap 13, and you can see we're within a second now of Pato O'Ward in this McLaren. So the confidence building in my abilities, in the car's capabilities as well, and we are continuing to reel him in. And he's slow on the exit of the right-hander. That would allow me to get right up to the back of him here on the run down this long back straightaway. No push to pass is used in. I'm not going to use it yet either, as we're side by side, nearly contact with O'Ward. He really forces my hand there. He's going to force the rookie here, the young Canadian, to back out of it and let him stay put there for now. So once this cycles through, we would in fact be 5th place here, lap 14, and we continue to follow Award here. Now, the AI really seemed to sometimes, out of that right-hander, get really slow on the exit, but that time Award was okay. Right now, Power, Armstrong, Ericsson, Fittipaldi there. You see 9th through 12th with Palou running 13th, the defending champion, who was just on such a tear last season. It felt like every other week he was going to the top step of the podium. End of lap 15, Newgarden and McLaughlin now coming into the pits. So there's their pit stop. We have exactly, as we cross the stripe, 1 lap of fuel. So we're going to push it a little bit further, but we do need to save a little bit, and I recognize that right away. So we're going to lift and coast basically for the first sector of this track. So Rinus VeeKay out in front, Award second, myself currently P3, and at the end of this lap, you're going to see Award would run down Rinus VeeKay, and he's going to be able to complete the overtake for the first position. Will he pit this lap, or is he going to run another? I think he will probably stay out, and so will VeeKay, but we, of course, have to pit right here. So we're going to give up all the track position, and we still have to pit one more time. Obviously, not ideal, but it is what it is. It's just the situation we found ourselves in. So into the box, here we go. Actually, I thought I overshot it, so you immediately see me throw it in reverse. Fortunately, though, I did not overshoot. So we put on another set of primaries, and we have one more stop to go, and that's when we'll throw on the alternate tires. Very clean race here so far. We're going to exit just behind Scott McLaughlin, Newgarden a little further down the road, but look on the track map, we've gotten a lot closer to the back part of that main group of cars. So Newgarden, McLaughlin, myself, Award, we're going to be gaining on those guys, and we're probably this run right here before they all pit again. We're going to be into that battle, and Award and VeeKay would pit at the end of the 17th lap. So we would come back through here, we would pass Rinus VeeKay, but Award's going to be right here with us on the exit. He's on the red stripe. Alternates, we get ahead right there of the McLaren, so there we go, and he's going to lose a lot of time trying to get those tires warmed up, so we are not going to be under threat from him, and he would lose nearly 5 seconds to me by the end of this lap getting his tires warmed up. It was that extreme. Newgarden has already run down that main pack of cars. He is driven away from McLaughlin as well as myself, so we are just trying to follow up through in there. But as we come through to lap 20, approaching the final 16, 15-ish laps of this race here, the season opener in Road Atlanta, we're going to go through the grid here in IndyCar.
16 laps to go, and it's Rosenquist out in front. Newgarden, McLaughlin, Award, all on a 3-stop strategy, trying to make it work. But I don't think it will, James.
No, I agree with you there. It will be impossible to get through traffic, then pit a third time. We've got a new pit reporter with us this year in Ted Kravitz. What can you tell us, Ted?
Yeah, guys, excited to be with you this year on these F1 off weekends for IndyCar. I can tell you that Penske has already reported to both Newgarden and McLaughlin that the 3-stop strategy was a mistake. I think we saw Award and VeeKay attempt the same strategy simply because they saw 2 front runners try it. This will not be a good result for those drivers.
All right, thanks, Ted. The rookie of Gary Owen for Meyer Shank Racing as well on the same strategy, but that was due to the damage he picked up early while his teammate leads the race.
And I've been watching his lap times, and he's putting a solid pace together here. If he could get a well-timed yellow, this could help him, but it needs to be after his final pit stop.
And you see Owen now to the back of the Penske number 3 machine, and he's also activated his push to pass.
Here he comes, Lee. He's going for a move here.
Owen to the right side of McLaughlin. Can he pull this one off on the Penske driver?
I think he can. He's almost got him down towards the braking zone.
And clear he is. Owen gets the pass done. He's clearly finding a confidence in that car.
And you see right there, the number 5 of Pato Award settling in. Rinus VeeKay just behind Marcus Ericsson. Not quite sure what's going on there. Interesting strategy. He's a little bit off, so not 100% sure what's going on, but he can't make it to the end either. So he's going to have to make another pit stop. But as that through the grid was happening, McLaughlin, myself as well, we all run down these guys, but you saw the pass that we were able to make on Scott McLaughlin. Absolutely epic scenes there. And now to the back of Linus Lundqvist as we're going to use our push to pass, and we had now used a few at this point, all in that through the grid section. And here we go up the inside now on the run towards the chicane. Can we complete the pass? I think we will. It's going to be close there. We got the rookie of Simpson just in front of ourselves now, but no, we're not going to get it done and actually have to get on the brake pedal in the mirror now. Scott McLaughlin unexpectedly up the inside here through the final right-hander. I keep it pinned. He banks out of it. Thank goodness. That could have been a lot worse there, but now we finally get an opportunity again up the inside of Linus Lundqvist, and we'll go for that 22nd position. Newgarden struggling in traffic. He is not moving through traffic at all. You can see him. He's got only one car between himself and I, but all the leaders are now coming into the pits at the end of this lap. There you see it. Everybody just trailing off into the pit lane. So Newgarden again will cycle through to the lead of this Grand Prix, and currently Scott Dixon P3, Kyle Kirkwood in second, and of course our teammate of Felix Rosenqvist still out in front when they came into the pits. So I think he's going to be in perfect position potentially to win this race here from Road Atlanta now, with a little over 10 laps to go currently now as we continue to close in. Newgarden, look at this, a slow exit now, and we'll have a chance to go for the overtake up front. Actually, it looks like we still have 2 cars on the racetrack and that need to pit, I should mention. One of them is Alex Rossi. I'm not sure who the other is. It's not Canapino. And Rossi's pitting this lap. We're side by side with Newgarden on the run towards the chicane. Slow car in front of us. I think that's Rasmussen. As we're going to go around the outside, he appears to be able to feel it is Christian Rasmussen, but he's rolling very slow there. I'm guessing he's completely run that car dry. We now go into the lead of this race. We're leading our first IndyCar laps here in our career, in our season opening debut. We will absolutely take that, but we are going to have to pit here shortly now as we approach just 10 laps to go. In the mirror, you see a big gap between myself and Newgarden, who struggled to get off the corner again, and now he's under pressure from his Penske teammate of Scott McLaughlin. Over a second between myself and Newgarden, but it's not going to help us here now as we continue on towards these final 10 laps of racing. There it is. The caution is going to fly. Full course yellow here in Road Atlanta.
Okay, yellow for debris. That will screw us, but we need to pit here.
Yeah, not what we wanted to see, but it is what it is.
Reason we didn't want to see the caution is pretty simple. We were going to cycle out about mid-pack if we pitted under green. Pitting under caution, we have to go to the very back, so not what we wanted, but we will be on fresh tires, and shockingly, Newgarden, McLaughlin, Award, VK, none of them pit when they can pit now and make it to the end. And if they stay out, they're going to have to pit again and give up everything, which basically all 4 of those names I just mentioned just completely threw their races away. That's an absolute disaster. That strategy, the 3-stop, has been silly all race long, and they are now paying the price for it in a late fumble as well. So we're going to exit at the very back of the grid, and I accidentally had double file restarts turned on for this race. I will have this corrected to the authentic IndyCar single file restarts going into next episode, but yeah, I just completely had no idea I left this on in the season settings. So I will get this changed, but we are doing double file restarts here today in IndyCar for what will likely be the only restart now after a long green flag run. We're back racing. You can see a little bit chaotic. I was giving some space in case the chaos happened, but Newgarden's going to lead the way into turn 1, and McLaughlin as well as Pato Award follows. Scott Dixon was able to get past Felix Rosenqvist into 3rd place there on the restart. So Dixon now in position to take the net lead of this race once, of course, the 2 cars in front of him come into the box now. We were able to get past Rasmussen as well as Lundqvist there. We'll move through up into the top 25 at least, but a lot of ground to make up here now as we continue on right to the back of Jack Harvey. Of course, he's the reason we've been in this awkward position all race long, really just not hitting that gas out of the double right-hander, but here we are using the push to pass at the end of lap 28. Newgarden, McLaughlin, Pato Award all coming into the pits at the end of this lap now. Up the inside of Jack Harvey here into the left-right chicane now as we'll try to lick the stamp around the outside. Thank you very much. We'll move through into another position gained, but Newgarden as well as McLaughlin and Award all into the pit lane. It's like the pit lane drive of shame for their fumbling of strategy, and there's your new leader, Scott Dixon, the driver playing the long game. Of course, Scott Dixon, long game. I mean, that's not surprising to see whatsoever. Our teammate of Felix Rosenqvist, a great day for him, but he fumbled on the restart, drops down into 2nd place. Marcus Ericsson in 3rd place, but he did not pit under the caution either, and we noted that he had to make another pit stop as well, so he will be pitting, and Rena's VK as well still on the racetrack. So 3rd and 4th, they still have to come into the pits here now as I'm trying to look up the inside. A late lunge on veteran Graham Rahal. He shuts the door, says no sir, we'll have to stay put for now. But Ericsson comes into the pit lane, and a lap later, Rinus VeeKay is going to make his pit stop as well, as we continue to try and put some pressure on Rahal. So we're gaining positions on track, we're gaining positions from the cars pitting. We're not probably going to get a top 10 in our debut, which I was kind of hoping for, especially seeing our teammate have so much success on track, but we're still having a decent run back through the field. Now, a lunge up the inside, just about there on Christian Lundgaard, but we're going to stay put there, but VeeKay would eventually come into the pit. So Pietro Fittipaldi, how about him? Up a position into fourth. Marcus Armstrong, Fittipaldi into third. Marcus Armstrong into fourth. Colton Herta into the top 5. Will Power, Kyle Kirkwood, early leader in this race, P7. We settle in briefly into 19th place after all the pit stops have settled down and kind of run its course. Up the inside of Lundgaard, there we go. Into 18th place, David Malukas, new McLaren driver this season, missing the IRL season opener, of course, due to injury, but we go up the inside of the McLaren, and here we go, wheel to wheel, axle to axle. It's going to be side by side through the chicane. Malukas now getting the elbows out, but not quite as much as the new Meyer Shank rookie from Canada, as we go through now into the 17th position, and now it's Santino Ferrucci, or sorry, P16 is what we got up to. Santino Ferrucci up next here, now using another push to pass. We only have a few remaining, 2 push to passes coming to the final 3 laps of this race. We continue side by side. This is to put us in 15th place here in these closing laps. Is a top 10 possible? I will say yes, because on that straightaway we didn't notice it happening, but there was contact between Alex Rossi and defending champ Palou. Look at that, there goes the left side of the front wing, and that would slow Rossi down. He would elect to not pit and try to nurse it home, but look at this, it's causing a huge train of cars now, and you can see he's got a huge gap between himself and the cars in front. So suddenly, coming to the final 2 laps here, this gives us an opportunity to the left side there of Colin Braun down this back straightaway. Need someone to correct me, is that supposed to be Callum Ilott or not? I'm not 100% sure, but I will fix that if necessary going into the next episode. Wheel to wheel there with Braun, though, of course, a sports car veteran, has had much success behind the wheel in his day, and will try to go around the outside, but he's going to shut the door with 2 to go. So now it would be all the way on the other side of the track again, down the back straightaway with the push to pass enabled, coming to the final lap in this season opener. This will put us into P14, and you can see right there up ahead, Rossi really holding up some traffic. Someone was able to get past him. Braun briefly looked to my left side, but we hold him off. So 14th place coming to the final lap. Dixon nearly 3 seconds ahead of Felix Rosenqvist there. A great job done by Dixon. You see on the back side of the track the 5 drivers that, of course, had the pit lane of shame late in the going. Now nearly into the back of Agustin Canapino here out of Argentina, of course, now as we get ready to go through the first sector, the sweeping S's to set us up for that final run in that push to pass zone down that long back straightaway. We have 1 push to pass remaining, and Rossi in the McLaren continues to hold up traffic, and we're going to take advantage here. An opportunity here for 13th, 12th, and 11th even, because of Rossi's issues now around the left side of Canapino. Is going to keep it up the inside through the right-hander. It's all about getting a good exit right here, which we do. Canapino backs out of it into 13th place, but hold on, Rossi had a poor exit, and that's going to put the fellow rookie of Simpson vulnerable to myself. Here we go, push to pass, slipstream, you name it, we got it. 3 wide down the long back straightaway. Here we go, wheel to wheel on the final lap. Simpson backs out. Scott Dixon will come through to win the season opener in Road Atlanta. We clear Rossi in our debut in IndyCar. It's going to be a very solid drive through the field late on a 3-stop strategy into P11 as we cross the line.
Awesome drive, man. Great stuff. Bring it back to us.
Awesome, guys. Great drive. Thank you for the opportunity. This is a sign of things to come. I mean, other than the, issue there early on, would have been a great day, but still, nonetheless, a fun weekend.
And that wraps it up. Episode 1 of this IndyCar career mode comes to an end. What a race, honestly. Fantastic racing. The one caution there mixed in. Scott Dixon at the end of the day picking up the win. And of course, really what stands out here is the just fumbling of the strategy for Newgarden and Penske in general with Newgarden and McLaughlin. They really dropped the ball there, but Pato Award from McLaren as well as a few others, including Marcus Ericsson. But round 1 comes to a conclusion. Round 2 is actually an exhibition race for $1 million or something, so we'll be doing an episode for that, but as well, actual round 2 points race will be taking place at Long Beach. So I'll see you guys for the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.